And good evening, good evening, good evening. Hi, Rianda. Lovely to see you again. Hello, hello. Hi, Sheena, Lynette. Wonderful to see you all. Prona, Elsa, Geraldine, Debbie, Ruben. Wonderful. Lovely to see you all. 10 people in the room and over 157 people registered for this evening. Crazy, crazy, crazy. You can, well done for those of you that are showing up with your growth mindset to learn something new. Just let me know you can hear me clearly and see my slides. Just, yeah, perfect. Thank you, Rianda. Wonderful. So nice to see you again. Welcome to everyone. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. Please let me know in the chat box, where are you dialing in from? So go ahead in the chat box, let me know, where are you dialing in from? And what industry are you in? Welcome to everyone. Okay, where are you dialing in from and what industry are you in? Wonderful. Hi, Maria. Nice to see you as well. Wonderful. Sheena, Ara, admin. Fabulous. Let me know, where are you dialing in from and what industry are you in? Open the waiting room. There we go. 9 o'clock. So hi, Maria. All right. Still Bay West Finance. Nice to see you. Excellent. Oh, there's lots of people coming in now. Sliding in. Evening. Boxburg in real estate. Hello, Ruben in Krugersdorp in real estate. Fabulous. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Ruben. Centurion, Pretoria Beauty and the wellness industry. Hi, Sheena. Excellent. Got some lot more people coming through. Wonderful. Let me know, where are you dialing in and what industry are you in? I want to welcome you all to Manager's Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. There we go. Avenue Response Security. Hello, Elsa from J&S Properties. Fabulous. Lots of different industries and lots of people coming in. So that's wonderful. I see them flying in. Graphic designer in Cape Town. Hi, Lynette. Good evening. All right. So we have a few more. Paul, Western Cape in health and wellness, social work. Beautiful. Graphic designer, South Africa, supply chain, Germiston in banking. Durban, environmental industry. Fabulous. Lots of different industries. And I love that you're all here this evening with a wonderful, hopefully open mindset for some learning. I am going to encourage you, if you enjoy making notes, please go feel free to make some notes. I will also, if you stay for the entire, love that, I saw that. If you stay for the entire masterclass, I will send you some notes at the end as well. So Zoom does give me a attendance register of how long you were here for. And I will then, if you stay till the end, I will send you that as a gift. So very excited that you're here with me this evening. I like to be interactive, so keep those fingers on the keyboard so you can type away. Well done. I know it's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. Sometimes challenging after a full day to still take in more, but give yourself this gift of time. If you can, put away your cell phone, put away the Candy Crush, emails, close your email browsers, give yourself this gift of time so that you can learn something new. All right, Unity from Rawson Properties. Fabulous, nice, wonderful to have you all here. My courses and my sessions are interactive. I will be doing a Q&A at the end as well. So very, very happy. And there's a few more people coming in. Yep, wonderful. Coming in fast and furiously. Fabulous. So well done to the 20 of you that are here out of the 157 people that registered. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be with me as well. So how many of you feel like you live the perfect balanced life? That while you are at work, you can achieve all your goals. So when you get home, you can have quality time, your family, your friends, even yourself. Days off you can spend on the golf course or pamper days at the spa. What about long, lazy lunches on a wine farm on a beautiful summer's day? Or dinner dates with your partner? Have you thought about your next holiday to Zanzibar? I mean, doesn't this just sound like the perfect life? Or is it just a dream? Well, so often when I'm training, so many people say to me, Nikki, all we need is more work-life balance. We need more time. Well, how many of you can relate? Now, self-disclosure, I have not yet mastered balance, but the tools that I share and train help me to stay on track with balance or consciously bring balance back into my life. Because can balance be mastered? Well, think about somebody walking across a tightrope between two high-rise buildings. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Let me know in the chat box. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? So Rihanna says the middle, beginning. Let's see, get those fingers firing up all the way, Samke. Absolutely middle, beginning, every step of the way. So one thing we do need to stay focused on is if we want work-life balance, if we want to overcome our mistakes, it's about consciously being aware of what needs doing. So this is for you. If you could do with some more work-life balance, or B, you don't really know how to recruit the right team member that could help you with work-life balance. What about C? You're managing your team, but not always leading your team. D, you delegate, but don't always get the desired results. Or E, you'd love to learn some more effective communication for each team member. Let me know in the chat box which one resonates, or you can choose more than one with you. A, work-life balance. B, you'd love to learn how to recruit the right team member. C, lead your team, not just manage them. D, learning clear communication for delegation. Or E, effective communication for a win-win. Let me know. A, B, C, D, or E. All of them, Lynette says, Rianda, A, C, D, and E. Fabulous. It's C, D, and E. We got E, we got C. So a lovely mix of leading our team, not just managing, effective communication, all of the above, more on delegation. Exactly that. So let me ask you, how many of you are currently in a leadership position? And if you run your own business, that's a leadership position. Sometimes, and if you're not yet in a leadership position, but you'd like to get in one, you're in the right place. The next question I also want to ask you is, have you studied or internally promoted? So just let me know in the chat box. Are you currently in a leadership position? And if so, have you studied or internally promoted? Okay, Ara Admin says all of the above as well. So I often have people attending my masterclasses who are not yet in a leadership role, but they actually land up, they're running their own business, running their own team, or have become an entrepreneur, therefore landed in a leadership position. Some people say, yes, they want to get into the leadership position. You're in the perfect place. So team leader for a team and director of another business. And yes, I studied. I am in leadership, not yet. I love the word yet. Well done, Samke. All right, yes to all. Yes, internally promoted. Office and finance manager, internally promoted, started at the bottom in reception. Well done, Daphne, both. In a leadership position, studied and internally promoted. Now, what is lovely about South Africa is a lot of times within South Africa, we do tend to grow internally into a leadership role. I know when I worked internationally, you weren't allowed to step into a management role without a degree. They were very strict about that. Yet, internally promoted means that you're also gaining live experience, which really helps with you growing into a leadership role. So whether you've studied or internally promoted, whether you're in a leadership position and just want to learn more tools, you're in the right place. So again, welcome and thank you to every single one of you. Because often what happens, being internally promoted, sometimes you were the shining star that somebody saw some potential in you. And when that's it, I see the next leader. And it's not always your fault that you got internally promoted because you show leadership qualities. But often we get internally promoted without the training. And sometimes you just feel like you're putting out fires. Often fires that we've created. It's also not your fault that you haven't been taught how to recruit 100%. So we don't always bring in the best person for the role or the right person for the role as we desperately trying to put a person in a position and often square pegs into round holes. It's not your fault that no one's taught you personality profiling. And now you're leading a team with so many different personalities, not always communicating effectively and not always getting the desired result. And it's not your fault that when we've learned tools of delegating, we were often just told a 3-step process in how to delegate, when in fact, it's a 6-step process in order to get the result desired. And it's not your fault that often being internally promoted into a leadership role, we haven't always been taught how to communicate effectively to get exactly what our results we desire. Often I have a should-be picture, you have a should-be picture, and we assume everybody understands our picture. And yet we don't always know how to describe it or explain it. The difference between a manager and a leader is exactly that, effective communication. So I want to say this is going to end in the next 90 minutes. I want to wave my magic wand. I want to share some tools with you to help you overcome some of these mistakes. Most of them, they were my mistakes before I had learned simplified tools to overcome them. Because I get this. I mean, I started in a hospitality environment when I was 15 years old. When I was 18, they offered me my first assistant management role of this particular restaurant. I did that for a good 6 months before I decided to go off traveling, landed up in the Caribbean. And at the age of 22, when somebody said, "Are you a manager?" I said yes. As I've always said, say yes and then learn how. And when I ran this restaurant, I ran it for 3.5 years. But when I'd only been there for 3 months, I was the longest manager that had ever stayed and survived. The boss, a dictatorial, aggressive leader. But after 3.5 years, I decided I wanted a new challenge before moving over to another restaurant for 4.5 years, and then returning back to South Africa 10 years later. When I came back to South Africa, I started working with the Woolworths coffee shops run by Tribeca. And when I started in 2004, we were still quite a small business, only 32 restaurants. But when I left 14 years later, we had over 150 restaurants. I was responsible with a group and with a team of opening most of these restaurants, as well as growing our staff complement from 452 to 2,500 staff. I loved saying yes, yes to the promotion, yes to the learning, yes to starting a training team. I also said to my boss as we were growing so quickly, I needed to learn more simplified tools because as we were growing so fast, we actually all grew to be tired. And I just knew we felt like we were going around and something had to change. I saw this most beautiful quote, the 3 C's of life. Choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance or your life will never change. And I realized the only way I was going to be able to overcome the exhaustion and keep staying on point with the way, the speed our business was growing was to go and study and learn as much as I could. My boss, very blessed, invested in me. I also invested in myself. and did as many courses nationally and internationally as I could. Came back and wrote lots of training manuals around everything I'd learned. More importantly, I had an opportunity to put it into application and test them as well. So I discovered these simplified tools that I had the privilege to invest in, privilege to implement in our massive company as we were growing. So during my 14 years, starting off as a coffee shop manager, growing into a training manager, I then became the national customer service head. When I left, I was overseeing the balance last 10 years, overseeing 8 regional managers, over 300 managers and 2,500 staff. I also head up customer service as well as leadership, as well as recruitment, constantly saying yes and learning how. But after 29 years in hospitality, I needed a change. And that's when I followed my second passion of real estate. Becoming a team leader of a small real estate company in the Bloemfontein area, I grew our office from 15 real estate agents to 50. But 16 months into this role, what I was able to share was everything I'd learned in hospitality in the real estate sector of soft skills and leadership. And this is when I realized the language of leadership was universal. But 2 months into, or 2 days before the president put the country in lockdown, 16 months into this role, our entire leadership team got retrenched. So that's when I started my own training company, the Winning Attitude Skills Training. Once again, saying yes, learning how. And since then, from training hospitality to real estate, I have trained over 100 different industries, from doctors to dentists to scientists to IT to a shipping yard that does spray painting of beautiful mega yachts in Mallorca, as well as many, many real estate agents and so many more. Constantly learning, constantly saying yes, and consistently focusing on a growth mindset of taking my leadership skills to the next level. So I'm very excited that you're all here with me today. Thank you so much. I want to invite you today. We're sharing Managers' Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. These are mistakes that I've made, but mistakes, more importantly, that I've learned to correct, working smarter, not harder, using simplified tools that will save you time. So as a thank you to everyone, if you stay till the very end, I would love to share with you my little workbook at the end of today to say thank you. As long, or please, if I can ask you in the chat box, go ahead and just drop your email address. That way, as I said, we had over 157 people registered for this evening. As soon as I finish the masterclass, I can quickly just go and tag you, send you that email, and as a thank you, tag you to that email address and send you that thank you email with all the information. So if I can ask you, drop your email address in the chat box. You're welcome to send it to me privately or in the group, so that as soon as I'm done, I can tag you and make sure you get the thank you email. There is an elephant in this room, though. I am somebody, those of you, I know quite a few of you that I've already worked with. I'm very transparent. What you see is what you get. I cannot share my last 32 years expertise of leadership with you in 90 minutes. So I would love to give you as much as I can. However, I do want to share with you, with your permission, when the time's right, to tell you a little bit more about my powerful leadership transformation course, which is my PLT 12 modules that I share, which helps with all the different mistakes that we're going to be discussing, plus so much more that will transform you from a manager into a leader. And also, for those of you that I haven't met before, thank you again for believing in me and being here. You're welcome to go and Google the Winning Attitude Skills Training. Go and see what other people have said about me. Currently, I've got 131 Google reviews. I've also got 25 Facebook reviews. So please go ahead and see what other people have said about the tools I've shared with them and the difference it's made in their lives. So, are you ready? Just let me know in the chat box. Are you ready to dive straight in? All right, got lots of email addresses coming through. Thank you as well. Samke says yes. Rianda says absolutely yes. Fantastic. So you're awake, you're ready to go. Fabulous. Well, let's dive straight in. So what is the difference between a manager and a leader? Now, often when people say that, I tell them the difference between a manager and a leader, two things. One, effective communication. It also means that a manager can be standing in front of their team, giving them a direct instruction. But when nothing happens and they walk away, they're simply just taking a walk. The difference between a manager and a leader is the leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. They're able to stand in front of their team, give them a direct instruction. They get the buy-in, the understanding, and the feedback. So when they walk away, everybody knows exactly what needs doing. Now, this can take time to learn these skills. But once you've got your team buying into what you say, believing in you, that is where you're going to reach your full potential, as well as allowing them to reach theirs as well. Often when people say to me, I want to be a manager, or I want to be a leader, do you want to do it as a title, or do you want to do it as leaving a legacy? For me, stepping into the leadership world is an absolute privilege, where you have the opportunity to take people to the next level by sharing these simplified tools, giving them access to help them and empower them to become the best version of themselves. But so often, managers get promoted or internally promoted or stepped into these roles with a little or very little training, and often ends up costing us time, energy, trust, and think about it, good people. Often we think about this. These are challenges I'm going to share with you today. And these may be challenges you're currently experiencing. The positive is none of these challenges are permanent. So it starts with us. It starts with our mindset that every day as a leader, knowing that it's a privilege to lead a team, it starts with you every day focusing on your mindset. Top achievers spend their first waking hour focusing on their mindset. And be that from visualization to affirmations to reading to studying to meditation, what are you doing every day to get yourself in that positive headspace so that you can step into your business world and lead with inspiration? Our experience, our mindset is an inside to an outside experience. The way we feel on the inside is how we're going to see life on the outside. And this is the importance of every day focusing on your mindset. Think of your greatest manager you've ever worked with. Think about back at school, your best teacher. Often we look back at our best teacher, our best mentor, our best boss as somebody that had a very positive mindset, somebody that helped us, grew us, and took us under their wing. And then ask yourself, are you ready to do that for others? And then it's about stepping into this leadership role, empowering yourself, learning to be the best version of yourself, and building the team around you. But one of managers' most common mistakes, often made, is poor hiring decisions. Now, you may sit here and go, but I don't hire. That would be the first problem. Often as a manager, you may start a new role as a manager and you inherit an entire team of people. Then that is how you work with a team to get them working with you. And there's lots of tools that are shared from one-to-one meetings to open communication and building that trustworthy relationship. But what about you getting your team working incredibly well together? And now your team starts to expand. This is the important part of realizing who you need on board in your team. So are you responsible for recruitment? Just let me know in the chat box. Are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? Because often I'll speak to managers and they go, there we go, lots of no's coming through, which means HR or your director or someone else in the business is recruiting on your behalf. However, if they're recruiting on your behalf and they're just delivering somebody and going, there we go, Rianda, there's your person to go and lead. Is it the right person for you? Is it the right person to complement your team? If you do not have, or if you are not responsible for recruitment, are you part of the recruitment process? And that is equally as important. Can you sit in those interviews? Can you tell whoever's doing the recruitment what personality you're looking for, what position you need to be filled, exactly the right personality you're looking to complement your team as well? Because that's also incredibly important. And then the second thing is, do you know how to follow a recruitment process? I know for my first decade in working in hospitality, I did a lot of recruitment, but I didn't know how to follow a recruitment process. And I couldn't understand why I made so many mistakes just hiring people just like me. I was like, oh, in the interview process, yes, somebody I really want to go out for a glass of wine with, or I can't wait to hang out with that person. Yet, our business doesn't need all the same personality, but yet we often are attracted to people very similar to us. We need the different personalities to complement each other. And this is a very important part of understanding the importance of the recruitment process. It starts with us bringing in the right people in the right place at the right time. And we should always be out there sourcing applicants, sourcing talent. But if you're looking for talent, talent is often also looking for you. And now, depending what industry you are in, where is your talent hanging out? Are they hanging out or looking for jobs on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter? Are they potentially looking at different networking functions? You need to find out, where is your like-minded people hanging out and where can you find them? And then secondly, looking for your talent, how are you going to word your advertisements that are going to attract them to the right role at the right time? Because if you're putting something out there going, I'm looking for somebody very numbers orientated, figure orientated, must be motivated to look after themselves, I'm not going to attract somebody who doesn't like numbers or sitting in an office space. You need to be able to word your advertisement that's attracting the right personality. And then how do we go about screening CVs? Looking for any potential red flags. Again, just looking at CVs, you can pick up personality profiling, you can pick up red flags, anything, attention to detail. So looking at those CVs that you are picking up anything, potentially red flags going forward, or the perfect ideal candidate. To the pre-interview, my pre-interview that I share is a one-pager, 10 questions, which will save you an hour per person that you want to interview. So it's following a pre-interview process before you're going into the interview process, followed by how do we close the interview and reference checks as well. So this is actually all part of recruiting talent, which is a completely different course that I offer. But the reason I'm sharing this is because it's so important for us to understand the recruitment process, the depth of following a recruitment process. Because if we want to be brilliant leaders, leading a brilliant team, it starts with recruiting brilliant people. Now, looking at that, what is the cost when we do nothing? What is the cost leading a team that is not performing? What is the cost of us just continuing doing exactly what we do now, making the same mistakes? Well, often when I speak to leaders and I say to them, do you have minimum standards, or do you have a job description, or I like to call it a job responsibility agreement? Do you have something with your minimum standards? Because what if I place an ad, only 5 people apply, this is my minimum standard. 5 people apply, they haven't reached my minimum standard, but because only 5 apply, I choose the best of the 5, not the right person for the job. Now I can spend 6 months training this person just to get to my minimum standard. For them, they've improved 100%. For me, I'm just beginning. So what about setting those minimum standards? What about knowing exactly what it is you're looking for? And instead of choosing the best of 5, throwing out those 5 CVs, going back to your recruitment process and really diving deeper, looking at where's your talent hanging out, looking at how can I word my advertisements to attract that talent. Because too often we hire desperately. Most people, when they resign, can give a month's notice, 2 weeks, or immediate effect. But finding the right person for the right role takes time. We need to interview, they still need to give their notice period, and then we need to start training. So if we just make quick rush decisions, often we're sitting with having the wrong person in the wrong role due to a desperate hire. So let's look at it as an example of what if we do hire the wrong person in the wrong role, and we're just so quick to get them into that role, and that person makes, example, 16 hours worth of mistakes per month. Let's work on an average 20,000 Rand salary, and we take those 16 hours of mistakes per month. It's loss in time, loss in turnover. Put that into a year, that's 208 hours per year at a cost of over 50,000 Rand in their wasted time. That doesn't even include your time in correcting the mistakes. The importance of recruiting the right person is so important, because what is the cost of leading without clarity and confidence? Well, you're going to have loss of productivity and profitability as well. Now, besides for that, it's not just your time. Time in training someone new, time in fixing mistakes, time in reprimanding. It is also your energy and your team's morale too. Besides for that, so many of us are so excited to be promoted or get into this leadership role. And now it's about you staying in love with the role you worked so hard to earn. So can you see the importance of making sure you understand how to recruit, following the correct recruitment process? Because if you have the right person in the right place, that is going to be the first thing helping you overcome so many other mistakes as a manager. Let's talk about mistake number 2. Looking at different personalities. Leading your team irrespective of their personalities. I remember the one restaurant I ran in the Caribbean. I said to my boss the one day, running a restaurant so easy, but the staff. And that's exactly where he said to me, leadership is all about people. We work in a multicultural society, different upbringings, different languages, different cultures. And on top of it all, different personalities. I like to use a personality profiling tool called the DISC profile. Now, there are about 12 different personality profiling tools that you can use out there. This is the one I like to use the most. You often hear DISC or you hear colors. Some people talk about birds, but this is speaking about 4 different kinds of personalities. Now, everyone in this room predominantly falls in 1 or 2 of the blocks, but we'll have a little bit of all 4 blocks within us. But 1 block or 2 blocks will really resonate with you. When it comes to understanding the DISC profile, this alone in my Powerful Leadership Transformation course is a 2-hour session. So I'm just touching on it today so you can see the importance of understanding personalities. In fact, I use this in my leadership course, in my sales course, in my speaking course, in every course I train, as well as recruitment, because understanding your own personality and then people around you is such a game changer. So firstly, when we're talking about personalities, we have D in the top left-hand side going around clockwise, D-I-S-C. But when somebody is dominant and formal, which is the top left-hand side, their personality is direct. A direct personality, you often find them in leadership, CEOs, directors of businesses. They are somebody with a tagline who says, just do it, just get it done. They can come across quite fast and aggressive, very task-orientated, love challenges, but they are bottom line people. So often can come across quite fast and aggressive. Just get it done, what needs doing. Then we have the top right-hand side, also falling under dominant, and on the right-hand side, informal. Their personalities, I for influential, otherwise known as expressive, and they generally are very positive, motivated people. Loud, bubbly. In fact, they love airtime. Life of the party. They have a serious problem with FOMO. So even if a few team members go out for a cigarette, they'll go as well because they have serious worries about fear of missing out. They can enjoy jumping from task to task, but because of that, they get bored quite easily and don't always finish off one task at a time. They can come across very positive, but sometimes manipulative to get everyone working in the best way for themselves. Now, the two personalities on top, the D and the I, also when it comes to confrontation, have no problem speaking up, have no problem handling conflict. In fact, if you want to fight, you'll get a fight, and they'll do everything in their power to win. Then we have the bottom right-hand personality, S, which is informal, easygoing, S for steady. S personalities are generally very much excellent listeners. They're known to be peacemakers or peacekeepers. They love people the same as the I, but they'll spend more time helping everyone else. And because of that, often finish their own work because they're helping everyone else. They really struggle to say no. They're excellent followers, but not always as strong leading because they're helping everyone else. There we have the bottom left-hand corner, your easygoing, formal, C for compliant, otherwise known as analytical. Your compliant personalities are a lot more serious. They can come across quite aloof, but they're also excellent listeners, but they're listening to get all the facts. They don't like making mistakes, so they'll ask lots of questions to make sure they've got all the facts so that they can deliver. I'd love to know in the chat box, which one resonated the most for you? D direct, I influential, S for steady, or C for compliant? Let me know. Sheena says, I love the disc. I'm a C. Fabulous, Sheena. I can spend hours, like I said, on the disc profile. It's one of my favorite sessions to train. But more importantly, it is so incredible once you understand it. It is actually transformational. It helps you from your recruitment process. It helps you to your leadership process. How do you shift your personality to get the desired result through your communication as well? So we have D's. I'm a C, I'm a D. We hire on this principle. I'm a CD, Chriselle, perfect. I've worked for companies as well that each position has allocated from the disc profile. And once you've even gone through the interview process, you do the formal disc profile before they will make that decision. And your personality has to match exactly what that position is allocated for the personality, which is fantastic. I think I'm both D and C, Tembi. I feel like I'm a C, I'm a D, I'm a C and D, S and a bit of C. I'm almost percentage of each, 3 under, S and C. So often I do this particular training session. I've done groups of 30 on a regular basis. We'll often find majority in one block or two. Very rarely do I find somebody even between all 4 of them. So, Rianda, knowing that I've worked with you, I know who you are and your personality. But like we all have a little bit of all four personalities within us. Yes, all managers to be D or C mainly. So, Christelle, mostly the DC, because often a direct and a C, C's they can find the problem, and D's they can fix the problem. Sometimes a C only personality can also become quite immobilized if there's a problem. So the DC is a great complementary personality in an operational position. However, every single personality can learn and develop traits as a strength within their role as well. I've worked with many different companies in executive leadership, and sometimes I'll have like 8 to 10 of them in the D's and 2 in the S's, and they'll come to me and go, Nikki, make me stronger. Stay who you are. All you'll do is shift your speaking, shift your confidence in who you are. Because I also believe in a role or in a company, you need all 4 of the personalities to complement each other. That's very important. All right, so situation can move me into one or the other. Yep. I've also shared it many times with therapists to help them provide the best customer service for clients. Exactly, Sheena. It helps so much. I have a Speak with Impact for Sales course, and there as well, it's understanding your client. So if somebody reaches out to me from that first phone call to an email or meeting somebody for the first time, I can immediately take my opinion on who they are. I will shift my communication to get the desired result. And sometimes I may just need to tweak it a little bit here or there, but having trained this for the last 20 years, it makes a massive difference with my clients, with my colleagues, with my friends, and helping me just in day-to-day relationships. So if we look at a photograph like this, they're all watching, let's say, a rugby game. They're all watching the exact same game, seeing the exact same result. However, their facial expression, the clothes they're wearing, their body language, I can tell you my opinion of every single person in this picture, specifically on those 3 things. How different would your understanding of personalities be if you understand the DISC, how you need to shift your communication to get the desired result? So how would you be able to improve your leadership skills once you understand each team member's personalities to communicate clearly to get the best results? It is absolutely such a cool exercise. Then let's talk about managers' most common mistakes. Number 3. How many of us would love more work-life balance? Can you see one of the biggest mistakes out of my 12 mistakes that I have, although I'm just touching on a couple today, is starting with recruiting the right people. Secondly, understanding who you're recruiting to have the right personality in the right role at the right time, and how you communicate with them, train them, delegate to them so that you yourself can get more work-life balance. For me, when you've got the right person in the right role, you can focus on your most important part of your job, which is the 80-20% principle, focusing on your big rocks. So I'm going to encourage you to print out your job description or your job responsibility agreement. Take a highlighter and highlight the top 20%. The reason you were hired for the role that you do. Because often you can have everything on that page, but lots of your other team members could also handle some of those responsibilities. What is your expertise? The reason you were hired? What is like, if that is the only thing you do today, nothing else will matter. Often what we do is what we love to do, what's quick and easy, what's fun, but not always what we actually hired to do. If you take a highlighter and focus on that, your top 20%, your success list, your big rocks, and get that done first. Once that's done, then you can go ahead and focus on the 80%. because otherwise we land up working silly, crazy hours. We land up being so incredibly busy, but not productive. I often used to, when I used to have to check in with my previous director of Woolworths, if I phoned him after a day and check in, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so busy today. He used to say to me, how productive were you today? Or what value did you add to my company today? That question alone used to get me thinking every morning of what value am I adding to the company today? It allowed me to create it to become a habit. So I knew at the end of the day, if he said to me, what value did you add? I could immediately tell him the value I added. In fact, I did a whole motivational Monday post about that this week. Because even though I no longer work with him 6 years ago when I left, I still ask myself that question every day. What value did I add to my company today? And that just helps me stay focused on my 20%, focused on my success list. And the important part here is to be so clear on your personal and your professional goals so that you know what your focus is, you know what your success list is. And often, managers that I've worked with, leaders that I've worked with, or different people in different industries don't even know how to set goals. They're not clear on their goals. So it really starts with being so clear on your goals, focusing on your success list. And then what do you need to do to add value to your business today? And when we look at that, because often we'll just write a long list of things that we need to do, which is our to-do list. And it consists of everything that we need to do, which can take us off track. And it's really long. And it becomes a tick-off exercise, which is a complete time waster. Yet, sometimes we go and tick something off on the list, realize it's not there, write it down just so we can tick it off anyway. I mean, that's the biggest waste of time. And yet, I used to be guilty of that. Now, for the last 7 years, all I do is focus on my success list. My success lists are short. It's my 20% of things that are going to help me reach my extraordinary results. They're going to help me stay focused on exactly what needs doing. More importantly, they're going to help me succeed. Every day, I only have 3 things on my success list for the day. Everything else can wait until those 3 things are done. Once they're done, I can move to my 80%. I use a tool that I share with you called a 411, taken from The One Thing, the book. It's 1 year, 1 month, 4 weeks. So once you've identified your 20%, you learn how to go ahead, entering your weekly goals, monthly goals, annual goals, and then breaking down 3 things per week. That is your success list of what needs doing. Now, once you've got your 411 set up, you're focusing specifically on that 20%. And then we use something called time blocking. I'd love to know in the chat box. I know those that have worked with me know about time blocking, but how many of you know about time blocking or do time blocking? Often I just changed the slide. Apologies about that. Often people will say to me, I used to do time blocking and it worked, but I stopped. How many of you do time blocking or know about time blocking? Time blocking, I use my Google Calendar. I use it early in the morning. Fabulous, Rianda. So I use my time blocking Google Calendar every single day. I then also color coordinate my calendar, focusing on my success list and my then 80% list. So I break it into money-making activities, working on my business or working in my business. Something I'm going to highly encourage you to start doing. So this is just well, it's not an example. This is actually my calendar from today or this week. And when I break it in, every single part of my calendar is time blocked. My dark green is where I'm physically making money. So I'm getting paid to do what I love to do, my 20%. My light green is money-making activities, working on my business, helping me go towards making more money. So it's meeting with clients, doing webinars, whatever it may be, meetings with the team. That is my dark green, my light green, my money-making activities. My orange is my personal time. Getting nails done, my vocal lessons, my getting hair done, all of that is personal time. But often in my personal time, I will still pop in my earpods and I'll still listen to a book regarding leadership if I have the capacity to do so. So always looking at how can I learn. I also schedule time for my growth mindset to consistently stay learning. So ideally, anything that's not got a color on, that's where I'm focusing on my 80%. Focusing on what else needs doing. And if I can't do it, then I delegate it to my team. So this allows me to have a balanced life. I've got enough money-making activities, working in my business, working on my business, enough time focusing on my 411, and specifically enough time for personal freedom of work-life balance. This is such a lovely quote that helps me stay on top of what needs doing. What's the one thing you can do such by doing it will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Now, over the years of training so many different people in leadership, how many of them have come to me and said, Nikki, since you've taught me your simplified tools, we now also have work-life balance. We've recruited the right people in our teams. We've trained them to step up. And some of them have stepped out of their business. Some of them have stepped into purely a regional role, focusing on working on their business and no longer in their business. Taking these simplified tools and putting them into action. So what could you focus on if you had more time? What do you focus on if you had more time? Rianda says, how do I shift my mind from guilt regarding my time in work needs doing? Ideally, I would ask myself, who else could do that? If you've done your time, you've done your hours. For me, guilt is such an exhausting waste of energy. So ideally, if you've been streamlined focused, so when I look at my dark green, my light green, it's streamlined focused. There's no Candy Crush, there's no copy breaks, there's no going out with anyone. It's streamlined focus of giving myself 100% for those 20% of my big rocks. So it's not anything stepping outside my office. Because if I look at my time and I'm not giving that 100%, that orange then has to fall away, that personal time. But if I know I'm streamlined focused, that nothing else is coming my way, I will have enough time allocated to get my role done. And if you're finding yourself overwhelmed with how much you still need to do, then you need more people in your team. Because no one's going to remember you working 18 hours a day. And that often happens, right? I have to tell you, when I resigned from Woolworths, I really didn't think they would continue without me. I mean, how could they? Okay, obviously they would. So often we think about that. How would they go on without us? Perfectly well. So let's look at our fourth most common mistake. Let's look at our fourth most common mistakes. And that is effective communication. Often we step into this role, we promoted into this role, we often think that everybody understands exactly what we're thinking, but we've all had different upbringings. We have different language barriers, different cultural barriers, and this is the importance of effective communication. Every single module of my leadership transformation covers effective communication, because the difference between a manager and a leader is exactly that, effective communication. When you learn how to speak effectively, paint pictures, tell stories, teach your team exactly what it is that you mean and that they can understand, it improves your day-to-day conversations. It makes a massive difference if you're in an entrepreneurship role. It helps you so much in relationships with your clients, with your colleagues, with your family, with your friends. It will improve your confidence in speaking. It helps you in business. It will increase your sales. Negotiation skills we are doing on a daily basis. Learning to speak clearly and confidently with effective communication helps you in leadership and, in fact, changes your life. So even though I wrote my leadership training almost 20 years ago and have been training it for 20 years, I am always consistently looking at how I can improve. And more importantly, consistently on this growth journey of learning more. Over the last 5 years, I went on a whole drive and development of public speaking, doing 2 public speaking courses, one in South Africa, one internationally, before becoming a co-coach for 2 years and then launching my own public speaking course. I since also became a TEDx speaker coach, and I'm consistently focusing on effective communication. And all of these different tools is what I brought into my course as well. So be it that you just want to get comfortable improving your one-to-ones with your team or speaking one-to-many, these tools will help you with clear, concise communication. In fact, a lady recently that worked with me said she had a pharmacy. She has a pharmacy, over 80 staff members. And she was like, I could never imagine myself standing in front of all 80 staff members hosting a meeting. After a couple of sessions and learning a few simplified tools, she now comfortably stands in front of a team and hosts staff meetings. And the one thing she said to me is not only is she doing it confidently, she's learned how to fall in love with her voice. Now, some of you may not have a fear of standing in front of your team, but some people that are also very confident often are overly confident, talking like a washing machine, going around in circles and spitting words out endlessly. And we don't always land the point. So effective communication, be it to slow down, speak to your team, or choose your words clearly and concisely, makes a massive difference in your leadership journey. And in fact, back to that 80-20% principle, I'm going to encourage you to spend 80% of your time listening to your team and only 20% speaking. Often in leadership, we spend 80% of our time speaking and 20% listening. Let's flip that around. Host one-to-ones with your team. Ask them valuable questions and then listen to what they are saying. So how could improved communication help you and your team? So this course is not just about teaching you leadership. It's also going to shift the way your team sees you, hears you, and more importantly, follows your lead. So I want to share some other mistakes that I cover. And I just touched on 4 of managers' most common mistakes in the last 75 minutes. Now imagine doing 12 modules. Covered in the first 4 modules is overcoming all of these managers' most common mistakes, to give you the tools to overcome them. That's going to help you save time, simplify tools, allowing you to work smarter and not harder. So it's understanding how to set goals for yourself and your team, and more importantly, the purpose of setting the goal. So often when I've worked with companies, they go, no, we had goals at the beginning of the year. We haven't looked at them since. It's about identifying those goals and looking at them daily, not understanding the difference between performance management and consequence management. Every action has a reaction. How do you put the right processes in place to have performance management so that you can drive your team, your new team members, and your current team members to reach their potential? And should they not, what needs doing regarding understanding consequence management? What about understanding accountability and bringing it into your business? Accountability is such a big word that people throw around loosely. but accountability is about living it in your business. It's not only about accountability with your team, it's about inspiring accountability upwards, sideways, and downwards. It's about building a trustworthy environment with open communication. There's the difference between the dictatorial manager and the manager that wants to be liked. Some managers need to understand how to motivate the team. I've got lots of emails today when I asked you, what's your big challenge? Some people said to me, we don't know how to motivate our team. Firstly, you cannot motivate your team to come to work. That's their job. But you need to create an environment where motivation will shine through. And leading by example. I often used to say to my team and to myself, if your boss walked in now, would they be happy with what you're doing? And if your heart's going, doom, 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 maybe not. The only person who can fix it is you. So what keeps managers stuck? Often hiring under pressure, desperately needing to fill a gap, low performing teams that are draining your energy, overwhelm, you're exhausted because you're just doing it all yourself. Leading without a clear system, often putting out fires, the fires we created. Fear of confrontation. Some of our personalities, C's and S's, don't like confrontation. But what if you can learn a 4-step tool that can take a normal confrontation that may be an hour to 2 hours down to 15 minutes and save you time? What about the stress of failure? What if I fail? These are things that consistently keep us stuck in a management role. So many or so often managers are losing productivity, great team members, and time every single day, simply because they're stuck in their habits. So can you afford to lose the next 3 months doing the same thing that you've always done? So right here, right now, you have 3 C's that you can make: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. So I'd like to ask you, may I share more information about my Powerful Leadership Transformation course, my PLT 12, with you? Please let me know in the chat box. Are you going to make the choice to take a chance? Rianda says, absolutely. Rianda, I love that question. I'm going to come back and answer that question at the end, if that's good. Thank you so much. So may I have permission to share more information about my Powerful Leadership Transformation PLT 12 with you this evening? So let me know in the chat box. I've got 2 yeses. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for all those yeses. Permission granted. Thank you very much. This was very formal. So my name's Nikki Abraham, and I love transforming managers into effective leaders so they can increase productivity, create an environment where their team want to reach their full potential, which will increase profit margins without working harder, only smarter. So if I ask you, 12 modules, 90 minutes a module plus Q&A. If this can help you with clarity and structure and help you be finally get into control, would it be worth it? And if you resonated with anything I said today, it's not a mistake. It's clarity. Clarity leads to change. I have trained hundreds of thousands of people on my PLT 12. From all different industries, from all different sectors, as well as different positions, from somebody that's never been in a leadership role to CEOs of organizations. And the feedback they've had is saving time, working smarter, not harder. I'd love to introduce you to Nadia. I'm just Brianda and Maria, if you can just give me a thumbs up that you can hear.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I won Nikki's Powerful Leadership Transformation course at a fundraiser. At the time when I started the course, I was not in a leadership position, but about 2 weeks in, I got retrenched from my previous position, and I was not sure where I was going next, and my self-confidence and belief in the work that I was doing, or my ability to do my work, was very low. Nikki's leadership course gave me the confidence, the skills and the tools to believe in myself, and the courses helped me to speak to people, has changed the way that I think about myself, and it has helped me to shatter the limiting beliefs that I have about myself. I feel a lot more confident, and now that I am almost finding myself in a leadership position, I am super excited to apply the tools that I have learned so that I may be as inspiring as Nikki to the people that I work with. Nikki, I'd like to thank you so much for the support and all of the value that you have added to my life.
Nadia has now since stepped into a leadership role, working for a digital marketing company in America and doing incredibly well. So this is not a course that you go through alone. This is not something I just leave you on your own. All you need to do is show up for the first module, and after that, you'll keep wanting to go on. I have two options with the PLT 12, my leadership transformation. I have it on demand, sign up, do it at your own time, and you get to join live masterminds as well as ask me anything sessions. Alternatively, I've launched one live earlier this year. My second live launches next week, and that will take you through these 12 modules exactly this way, the same way I'm doing this masterclass is taking you on that journey. So what this course covers, session 1 goes from your big why to covering your habits, how to become the effective leader, knowing who you are and what you need to do to become an effective leader, transforming your weaknesses into strength, understanding your 7 primary responsibilities of a manager, and there's 9 pieces of a management puzzle. Each session, 90 minutes, jam-packed with value, plus Q&A. Each session also has assignments that you take and put into action. I not only teach you the what and the who, but also the how. So you will be able to make or take all this information, put it into action straight away. We do lots of assignments as well as role plays to put it into practice. So session number 2 starts with your mindset and your attitude, learning how to choose a new attitude to get the results you desire. So sometimes it can be a little challenging in that leadership role, and wanting to leave the legacy of that positive leader. It's also understanding the purpose of achieving a goal and ways to set our goals to reach our full potential. Session 3, we take our goals, our personal, financial, and professional goals, and we enter it into our 411, focusing on our success list as well as letting go of the to-do list, focusing on the 80-20% principle. You'll learn how to time block, turning the to-do list into a success list, using some time-saving strategies that's going to allow you to already gain more time. Session number 4, we bring in the accountability process, where we continue speaking about managers' most common mistakes. So I covered 4 simplified mistakes today. Here you're going to get the tools of how to overcome these mistakes. And we'll continue working on communication, building a trustworthy environment, how to let go of dictatorial, aggressive management style, and criticism and negative discipline. Part 3 is about how do we create an environment that motivates our employees, and also letting go of wanting to be liked. There's a fine line between wanting to be liked and wanting to be respected. And my goal for you is wanting to be respected. Session 5, we continue with managers' most common mistakes, going deeper in poor hiring decisions, conflict and delegation. We touch on those that actually have their own 90-minute sessions whereby you learn the simplified tools to give you the best results, as well as not leading by example. Performance management versus consequence management as well. how to be proactive and not reactive. Session number 6 is all about the DISC profile. It's a 2-hour jam-packed session whereby you get to understand how to apply the DISC profile, that you can continue using the DISC throughout your leadership journey, understanding yourself, understanding how to do the DISC profile on all your staff. It will help you with recruitment, with clients, in your relationships as well. Identify different personalities. More importantly, how to lead your team knowing your personality. Session number 7, we speak about effective delegation. So the benefits of delegation. And often people say to me, I don't like to delegate because I feel like I'm telling people to do my job. I want you to shift the word of telling people to do your job to I'm empowering people to learn something new. And that's where it starts with the growth mindset, that every time you delegate something to someone else, you're empowering them to learn something new. So you'll learn some essential criteria to delegation, how to prevent reverse delegation, and the 6-step tool to delegate. Most people only follow the 3-step tool of telling somebody what they need to do, but never actually receive or giving them the 6-step process. And one of the biggest things there is asking for feedback. Quite often, we just tell somebody what to do, assuming their picture and our picture is the same. So sneaky tip right now, always ask for feedback. Christelle, yes, I do. I do provide group training sessions live and online. And yes, at the end, you get a certificate of completion. Great question. Thank you. Session number 8, speaking about conflict for a win-win. So again, understanding different personalities, how we handle conflict, the dangers of ignoring conflict, sweeping that under the carpet because we don't know how. Importantly, the benefits of handling conflict. And I saw quite a few people today said they're S's and C's. A lot of S's and C's personality. It's not our natural way to handle conflict. In fact, we don't like handling conflict. But once you learn this 4-step tool, sometimes conflict can take an hour to 2 hours to a couple of days if we've swept it under the carpet, which can be very dangerous. When you've learned this 4-step process, often it can take less than 15 minutes with a win-win reconciliation. Session number 9, how to let go of that imposter syndrome or any limiting beliefs that's potentially holding you back so that you can be purposeful in your power as a leader, taking those weaknesses and transforming them into strengths. Session number 10 is all about management styles and powers and the difference between the autocratic style and the participative style, and sometimes when's the best time to use different kinds of management styles, to effective attributes of a leader and the different kinds of management powers we can use as a leader. And that's using those powers and effective attributes, how to master our potential as a leader. Session number 11, how we can go ahead conducting different kinds of meetings using an agenda. I'll give you 5 different meeting options, making it exciting for your team, trialing new things as well as icebreakers. That way your team looks forward to meetings, and then how we use this for team development and growing our team as well. Session number 12, all about accountability, the 10 commitments of accountability. Importantly, we have brought accountability in from the very beginning, but how to inspire accountability with your key to leadership. So this course will help you stop doubting your leadership and start owning your role as a confident, strategic team builder. That is what it's going to set you apart, that you can walk away confidently, that you can achieve anything from a manager into a leader. So if I said to you this was free, like money aside, if I could help you grow from a manager into a leader, to lead your team to achieve a common goal and increase productivity and profitability without working harder, only smarter, just let me know in the chat box. who would want to work with me? If this could help you, who would want to work with me? And I would love to say this is for free, but all the hundreds of thousands I've invested, my time as well as my in my different roles, I would love to say yes. But I also know the importance of investment. I know the difference it can make to your life. And I know, I always say to anyone that's worked with me, I will become a coach in your pocket, that you will be able to get through any leadership challenge. And I will help you oversee and find the solutions to make it so much easier and enjoyable. So again, go and have a look at what other people have said. Other people that have worked with me, go and see what they said about the tools that I shared with them as well. And I'd love to share with you, there was this lovely, a few of my Google reviews, but on the Client Happiness, she actually reached out September, it was just almost 2 years ago, September. And she contacted me and said, Nikki, she came to my masterclass. She said, I want to do your course. And I said to her, are you in a leadership position? And she said, not yet, just like you, Samka, not yet. But I'm a paramedic. I work for Durban, the government. And I don't want to be a paramedic forever. I'm getting older. So I want to invest in myself. And I want to do your course because I would like to grow. She signed up, invested in herself. And I said to her, are you telling your bosses you're doing this course? And she said, no, I'm just going to put it into action. Within 4 weeks, she got noticed. And I want to share this lovely little voice note she shared with me about 2 months ago. Have a listen to Nonhlanhla.
After I did the course, I got promoted from being an operational paramedic who was a shift worker to an acting sub-district manager. Imagine, Nick, sub-district manager. So I'm managing close to 90, if not 90, is 92 staff that I am managing. Yeah, I didn't think that I'll be able to do that, Nick. As you know me, as you know, when I was starting to do the course, I was also like a shy person. I can stand as a sub-district manager. And I'm looking forward to apply for the post when it being advertised. I'm not gonna be an acting SDM for so long. I'll end up being sub district manager because of your course, Nick. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Bye.
Very,
After
very, very proud of you. And Mariska, a year later, also signed up. Again, investing in herself. And within a few weeks, her bosses also said to her, something's different about you. What is it? And she told them about this course. They immediately said, we've seen such a difference. Please give us that invoice you paid. We'd like to refund you. And since then, I'm going to let her tell you.
Hi, Nikki. I just wanted to let you know how much my life has changed since I joined one of your courses. So, just over a year ago, I took a leap of faith and I joined one of your courses. And it was about a month in, and one of the directors noticed a change in me, and so much that they offered to pay for the rest of my course, which was amazing, such a blessing, something I never saw coming. And then following the course, I just followed your advice, stayed in touch, still seeing you on a regular basis. And now being part of the leadership mindset, it's changed me so much. It has empowered me to work better with my team, to be a better leader. And on top of that, I just got to share this with you. I have just recently got promoted to director, so yay, super excited for the future. And thank you to you. Hi, Nikki.
Absolutely incredible. So thank you so much. This is not for everyone. It's not for managers who just want to delegate and walk away. It's for people that want to step into a leadership role, people that want to make the biggest difference. And you have a choice. You can do this slow or you can do it fast. as Mariska shared there, she's still part of my leadership mastermind. So I do work with my clients consistently. I've always got sessions running from masterminds, leadership masterminds. I'm always elevating myself. I love listening to 2 leadership books minimum per month, always learning, working with new people, new industries around the world as well. So it's up to you. You can do this slow. You can keep doing it the way you're doing it, or you can come and work with me and do it fast. So my powerful leadership transformation, my PLT 12 modules, 90 minutes of valued information plus Q&A. But those of you that are action takers, I would love to share some bonuses with you, because I love working with people that say yes and are ready to dive straight in. So for action takers, you get 12 weeks of my Go-Getters Business Mastermind. This is every single Tuesday morning for 30 minutes. I have over 40 people in this mastermind. We focus on setting weekly goals and accountability. It's a stunning group of all different industries whereby we drive each other to become the best versions of ourselves. You will also get 3 months of my leadership mastermind that you heard Mariska speaking about. So every Monday, I either have a mastermind or a ask me anything coaching session. So those alternate every Monday at 3 o'clock, either the mastermind or the ask me sessions. So you have live access to ask me any questions anytime from Mondays from 3 to 4 o'clock as well. Those are part of your bonuses for 3 months for each. You'll also gain access to some on-demand recording sessions. One of them, handling challenging clients using a 6-step tool called the BLAST principle. So I'm sure you've seen a little face here. I love simplified tools. I like things that are easy to remember. So you will gain access to this on-demand training session, as well as access to the art of negotiation communication. So looking at the total value of my powerful leadership transformation, and what I have been doing for the last 20 years in training and consistently looking at this, consistently looking for growth, is this is the value of what we offer. So the Go-Getters Business Mastermind value at 1.8, 3 months leadership mastermind 1.8, bi-monthly Ask Me coaching sessions 1,997, handling challenging clients 1,997, the art of negotiation 1,997, and my course is valued at 18,997 Rand. So total value for all these bonuses and the course is 26,788. And if all this did was help you become a better, effective leader, that you could love your role, work smarter, not harder, would it be worth it? Making a difference in people's lives. Bonuses are for the next 24 hours, yet I have a Women's Day special. And I'm going to say this, even though it's Women's Month, I love men equally the special. So 2 options that we have here. So I will open it up for men and for women. But 2 options we have. I have the live or on demand. Live will launch next week, Tuesday, from 3 to 4:30. And my live price, normal price is 18,997. To do it live, 15,197 with the 20% discount. That is live, just like this masterclass, 12 weeks from 3 till 4:30, except the disc profile, which is 2 hours plus Q&A. Should you want to do it at your own time, I have a pre-recorded course, exactly the same, 9,997, and that's a once-off payment for the PLT on demand as well. I see Rianda, you said Mastermind, please. Rianda, you've done the leadership course, so you are allowed to join Mastermind. So with that, you can have the 2 different options of either doing the live or on demand. Both of them will have access to the masterclasses, the Ask Me Anything. I've got quite a lot of people that like doing the on demand so they can do it at their own time. But I also have lots of people who like the live option too. So Women's Month special, women and men, 15,197. This is the live option every Tuesday from 3 to 4:30. These sessions are also recorded. It just means you have live access to me week after week, or you're welcome to go ahead, pre-recorded, on-demand access, 9997. That way you have access to the recordings, immediate access, plus you still have the bonuses of joining the weekly masterminds, the Ask Me sessions, go-getters, and those on-demand sessions. For those of you that were excited about recruiting talents, I have another bonus on top of that, the recruiting talent course is 4,997. However, if you buy either of the leadership courses, you can get recruiting talent at 50% off 2497. I will drop this in your thank you email as well. So my name's Nikki. I'm a public speaker strategist, a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach, and a leadership extraordinaire with 32 years experience in leadership. I love helping transform managers into leaders to work smarter, not harder, grow productivity and profitability. So I'm just going to leave this right here. I have dropped the link in the chat box. I would love to answer some of your questions. If we have any questions, I see there's quite a few in the group. So I'm going to just quickly go through any questions. Please feel free to reach out. But I am ready to work with you if you are ready to take action. I can tell you, everyone that I've worked with, go and see my Google reviews, go and see what they have said. I know the difference I've made in their lives, they've made in my lives, and together we'll make in yours as well. So just going through my messages, thank you again for everyone that is here. I love this. Please send me details. All your courses available. Perfect. We'll definitely do that. Thank you so much, Christelle. Very excited to do that. I've done leadership, but need more. I am in. Fabulous, Rianda. Come and join your masterminds. They are incredible. So many people in the mastermind, everyone who's completed the leadership already from around the world. And it's such a great collab every Monday, either the Ask Me sessions or leadership mastermind. And Veja, I hope I'm saying that correctly, asking about the recording. Sure. Once tonight's recording is up, I will drop it. Sorry, it's been a long day. I will drop it onto my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Samke. Appreciate that. Thank you as well. So inspiring. Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Rianda says, love tonight. If you're not done the leadership course, go, go, go. Love that, Rianda. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And again, there are so many things, even though you've done the course, there's so many things. The repetitiveness is so important. I'm very blessed that I get to train it all the time. So it's constantly and consciously top of mind. Excellent. Please send information for all your courses. Sheena, absolutely will do. Please do. If you haven't yet dropped your email address in the chat box, please do so that I can do that. I've got lots of courses I offer. My main focus, love leadership, the powerful leadership transformation, and my Speak with Impact, as well as the other ones that I've offered. So thank you so much. I've loved having you here this evening. If there are any questions, please do feel free to reach out. There we go. Fabulous. I'm just looking at some of the messages coming through. Thank you. I will go through all the messages as well. But if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out. You're welcome to raise your digital hand. And again, thank you on this lovely Tuesday evening for being here, for saying yes to you, making the choice, taking a chance, and let's make changes your life deserves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dropping the link in the chat box again, and I look forward to connecting with those of you that have asked me to connect. Absolutely will connect with you. Thank you so much. Rianda, looking forward to seeing you on Mastermind, and anybody that's ready to dive straight in really, really excited to work with you. Thank you, Christelle. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Carol. Appreciate you. Thank you to everyone that is here, showed up for yourself and for me. Let's go make the changes this world deserves in our leadership journey. Thank you to everyone. Have a fabulous evening. Chat to you soon. Bye-bye.